Hello everybody. Today we will be comparing the skulls of a modern-day human and a Neanderthal. Neanderthals are an extinct species of human that were very closely related to modern-day humans. We shared about 99.7% of our DNA with Neanderthals, and humans today can have up to 4% Neanderthal DNA in their own genomes due to interbreeding. We have a very good fossil and genetic record of Neanderthals, and therefore a very good understanding of their morphology and biology. In this video, we will be going over the physical differences between modern human and Neanderthal skulls. Putting these two skulls side by side, it's already clear that these are closely related species. The skulls are much more similar to one another than a chimpanzee and a human skull, for example, but there are still numerous small but important differences. The first difference that many people notice are the brow ridges. Neanderthals possessed very large brow ridges over their eyes. This structure is known as the supraorbital torus. Humans today are variable with the size and presence of our brow ridges, but the brow ridges seen in Neanderthals are much larger and are a more diagnostic trait of the species, meaning they're found in every fossil individual regardless of sex. The eyes beneath the brow ridges in Neanderthals are also much larger than modern humans. The Neanderthal eye socket was on average 1/4 of an inch larger than what we see in modern-day humans. Beneath the eyes, the nasal aperture, the bony opening of the nose, is also much larger than what we see in modern humans. It has been hypothesized that this is an adaptation for the colder environments that many Neanderthals inhabited. Having a larger nasal cavity warmed the air that they were breathing in. Neanderthals generally had larger faces than modern humans, and their faces were also more prognathic, meaning their faces stuck out in front of their eyes. Neanderthals exhibit mid-facial prognathism, meaning prognathism starts by the nose and continues at an angle downward. The zygomatic bones, or the cheekbones of Neanderthals, are also angled backwards. This, along with the midfacial prognathism seen in Neanderthals, makes it appear almost as if the face of a Neanderthal was grabbed from the front and stretched and pulled forward. While the human face is small and tucked underneath the skull, with straight projecting and small zygomatic bones. The large and broad zygomatic bones of Neanderthals also results in the absence of a canine fossa. The canine fossa is a small depression on the zygomatic bones in modern humans, sort of where the zygomatic bone meets into the maxillary bone of the mouth. Due to the large zygomatics of Neanderthals that connects to the maxilla at an angle, this feature is not present in their skulls. The mouths of modern humans and Neanderthals are similar in shape, but the Neanderthal mouth is much larger. This results in the presence of what is known as a retromolar gap. If you look behind the last molars in the Neanderthal mouth, you'll see a small space. This is known as the retromolar gap and is a space behind the third molars of Neanderthals. This is a feature unique to Neanderthals, and it allows space for all their teeth to fit in. Humans with our small mouths, and even with our smaller teeth than Neanderthals, do not have enough space for all of our teeth to grow in. This is why wisdom teeth are an issue in modern-day humans. You can even see in this replica one of the wisdom teeth growing in without enough space in the back of the mouth. Moving from the face to the brain case, the first thing you'll notice is the size and shape of the brain case. Neanderthals actually had a larger brain case size than modern humans, at about 1,500 cubic centimeters, while humans average around 1,400 cubic centimeters, although there is lots of variation. The brain case is largest in the back end of the Neanderthal skull and smallest in the front end due to their sloping foreheads. At the very far end of the Neanderthal skull, you'll see that the occipital bone here in the back projects out a little bit in what looks like a little bun. This is known as the occipital bun, and it gives more area for the occipital lobe in the Neanderthal brain. The combination of a small sloped forehead with a large back end of the brain case creates a brain case shape that's broader and more elongated in Neanderthals. This is known as a platycephalic skull condition, and it is in heavy contrast with the rounder, more globular skull condition that we see in modern-day humans, characterized by a tall forehead and a more compact, rounded brain case. Moving to the lower jaw, the Neanderthal mandible also has some unique features different from modern humans. Aside from the retromolar gap and the larger teeth, the Neanderthal mandible is much longer, typically, than the human mandible because of how far their faces jut out from in front of their eyes. Along with this, Neanderthals also lacked a chin. The front end of the mandible of Neanderthals has no bony projection, which forms a chin like what we see in modern-day humans. These numerous morphological differences are the reason why Neanderthals today are typically considered to be a separate species. While we did breed with Neanderthals, biological species are a complicated subject, and it's impossible to confidently classify different populations as a separate species, especially in paleontology when we are primarily using fossil evidence. Using morphological, evolutionary, and most other species concepts, Neanderthals are a separate species from modern humans. Either way, they represent a very fascinating hominin group that is very important in paleoanthropology. Thank you for watching.